Oh, it is going to be a long night on the ocean. Welcome on board a somewhat lesser-known ship, the MSC Poesia. It's actually shortly past midnight on my first night right now, and I've already had a whole day on the ship and then gone to bed and woken up again because the ship is moving so much. But let's go back to how the day began. I am on my way from my home here in Hamburg, Germany, down to the newest cruise port. And the weather is not being cute right now. It's been raining and raining and raining, but I guess I got lucky because it's not raining right now. So I just have to make it to the train station and then we're good. All right, I made it here to the station and it did start misting. And technically, if I wanted to, I could give them my suitcase here at the main station and then it shows up later on the ship. But I just have this carry-on because it's a short cruise. And so I'm just going to carry everything with me, and there's just 2 stops on the underground, and then I'm there. That's my train, the U4. And if you're cruising from Hamburg, just beware that there are 3 different places where the ships dock here. So don't watch this and think, oh, now I know how to do it. If your ship is docking at Steinwerder or Altena, this is not going to take you to your ship. The name of this cruise terminal is Hafen City, and the last time I cruised from here, it was like a temporary building, and now they built this gigantic shopping mall here. The port facility is in the shopping mall, so you can kind of walk through here and be like, do I want some crystals? Do I want some pizza? Or do I want to go on a cruise? I know I have to go downstairs to get to the entrance to the port facility, but I want to go over here first to see if I can see the ship. And of course, to do that, I have to go outside again. There she is, the Poesia. Okay, let's go back inside now. Just follow the signs to MSC. Here is the entrance. I'm just realizing how awesome it is, what a luxury it is to be able to go out of my apartment, take the subway 2 stops, and board a cruise ship. I'm used to like flying from here to Paris and then Paris to Miami and staying in hotels and paying for taxis, and this is like so easy. The cruise terminal is giving very new vibes. It is less than a year old. In fact, I think it's been in use for not even a half a year, to be honest. Very bright in here, and there's a lot of open space. There's a couple people waiting to check in here. It's surprising to me that this is the setup for check-in, that there's no like counter here. I guess I expected it to be a little more permanent looking. I have checked in and I'm gonna pass by this little drink buffet here and head straight to the ship. So I came from all the way down there and had to go all the way up to the top level, and now that I've checked in, I go back down to the middle level and turn right. This is then where we enter ship security. There's the ship, getting close. You can see just how new and bright this is here. But it was surprising to me that they didn't have like a permanent counter. Okay, and now this is answering the next question I have. We do have to walk outside to get to the ship. And I didn't put my hood on and I'm just gonna get wet, I guess. I am not on the ship. I am not on the ship. I am on the ship. Altogether, it took me 35 minutes to leave my apartment and get onto the ship, and it would have been faster if I didn't stop to take so many pictures. My cabin is on deck 8, and I want to go find it so I can get my cruise card, and then I'm gonna head to the buffet. And it says here on the welcome aboard info that the cabins aren't gonna be ready until 2 o'clock, so that's still like about an hour and a half, but maybe I'll be lucky. My cabin is 8092, so it should be down this way. Nope. Okay, explain this to me. It says that these cabin numbers are that way, but I can't go that way. Oh, I see. This way. Getting close. The way that a lot of MSC cruises work, and Costa cruises and Mediterranean cruises all together on lines that are not like Royal Caribbean or NCL, is that people kind of come and go throughout the whole cruise. So it's not just like everybody starting at one port and ending at one port. People are coming and going in between, and that's the case on this cruise as well. And this must be then my cruise card. Let me see if I can go into the cabin. Here we are. Okay. I'm laughing because, I don't know, if you watched Sunday Sofa Time last week, you'll know that I talked about that I booked an inside cabin and I got upgraded to an ocean view cabin with an obstructed view. So sometimes these cabins are called like partial ocean view or obstructed view. What would you consider this? Yes, this view is obstructed. I mean, I still would rather have this than an inside cabin. Even though, you know, like, I'm not going to be able to see the ocean here. How cute that they gave me 2 pool towels. Ain't nobody going to the pool on this cruise. Of course, I'm going to show you more around the cabin in this series of videos, but right now, I want to head up to the buffet and get some lunch. It's so weird to me that not even an hour ago, I was in my apartment and now I'm on a cruise ship. Took the wrong elevators up, so now I'm walking across the pool deck to get to the back of the ship where the buffet is. Kind of surprising that there's nobody in the pool. I mean, it's at least 50 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I've now cruised with MSC 4 or 5 times, always in Europe, never leaving from North America. And I've never been really impressed by the lunchtime and especially the dinner time buffet selections. Of course, food is very often just a matter of personal taste, but as a picky vegetarian, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of really creative options, I guess would be the way I would say it. And a little bit later tonight, I'll be going to the main dining room to check that out as well. After lunch, I went walking around the ship a little bit. It's just really like raining and blowing outside. I don't know what this cruise is going to be like when we leave and when we get out to sea tonight. One thing you may have noticed as I show you around the ship a little bit is that, as with many MSC and Costa ships, there are a lot of colors and patterns. When I did come back to the cabin, my suitcase was waiting, so now I'm gonna just, I don't know, I'm only on board for the rest of today, all of tomorrow, and then the next morning the cruise is over already for me. So I don't think I'm really gonna like unpack, but I'm gonna maybe just resort the things that I brought with me. And then in about 45 minutes is the muster drill, and this is like an old school style muster drill where you actually have to go there. It's not watching something in the app. It is a first person experience. All right, they just announced the muster drill, so it's time to go, and I decided to get dressed for dinner already because the muster drill is at 4:45 and I have set dining time at 5:30. So I figured I'll just go from one to another, and I didn't plan my outfit very well, and I am like 2 different shades of gray. Is that better or worse than 50 Shades of Grey? Okay, there's a lot more people who boarded the ship today than I expected. I was thinking it was just like a handful of people, but this is a lot. This was a really interesting version of the muster drill because some people have been on the ship for a while and some people started today. They had us all gather in the theater and they did the announcements in 6 different languages, one after the other. And then we had to follow our group leader to our assembly station, and ours was outside and it's raining. We were allowed to stay like under the overhang, so we didn't get really that wet except from the mist blowing in from the side. But the poor crew member, she was getting rained on, but she had to stand where she had to stand. I'm sure that was the highlight of her work day. All right, let's go check out the main dining room. The way the main dining room is set up here on the ship, there was nobody to like greet me when I arrived. There's a table number on your card, and then you just go find the table on your own. At least that's how I did it. I was a little surprised when I got there that I had this big round table all to myself. I thought I had it all to myself. It seemed a little bit like traditional older style cruising where when you went to the main dining room, you always sat with a bunch of people that you didn't know. If you've been around here for a while, you know I'm not really a big fan of that. I'd rather be just with the people that I'm cruising with, or honestly just sit alone if I'm cruising alone. And for the first maybe 10 minutes of my meal, I was alone, and then 2 women from Canada came who were also at the same table. So it is set up at least on this cruise on the Poesia, that parties are mixed together at these big tables, and that's how you kind of get to know the other people you're cruising with. I have learned to not expect fantastic vegetarian food when cruising with MSC. And other than the chocolate cake I had for dessert, there was nothing that I think I would ever order again or want to try to replicate at home. That doesn't mean it was bad. It just was really nothing special. After dinner, I went to the show, and it had a disco theme, which I think the name of the show might even be Disco Fever, I'm not sure. And in comparison to the first shows that I ever saw on MSC, which were back on that horrible cruise on the Magnifica several years ago, MSC has greatly improved the quality of their shows. They're still not at the level that you can expect on Royal Caribbean, NCL, and especially not Disney, but they're, I would also say, acceptable for this price category on a cruise ship. One thing you can always expect is crazy colorful costumes. Oh my gosh, look at these feathery jackets that these performers had to wear. How did this get approved? I was alive in the 70s, and I don't remember people wearing things like this. But the show was entertaining, the people were talented, and just compared to other cruise lines, there's more than a little bit of room for improvement. Let's say that. So after that, I came back to my cabin, started uploading the footage that I made today, started editing the video from today together, and because we just turned the clocks back here in Europe, it's, a different time in my head, and already at shortly past 10 o'clock, I realized my eyes were totally getting heavy, so I just decided to go to bed. It's a couple hours later now, and I'm awake again just because the ship is moving so much. Everything is making noise, things are sliding around. It's gonna be an interesting night. It doesn't feel like violent or scary. I have experienced that before in the Mediterranean. This isn't like that, but it's just definitely a lot of motion. Oh, I know what else I wanted to tell you. I didn't get any kind of drink package because this cruise is just so short. I decided, because I do like to have a glass of wine with dinner and a glass of wine before I go to bed, especially when I'm traveling, I decided to just buy a bottle of wine with the price of the bottle of wine and then the gratuity added to it. It was almost 40 euros. And this is how they opened it for me. They didn't even take off the sheath at the top. They just forced the cork out through it. Come on. I mean, I know for the price, you shouldn't expect 5-star service, but especially from a European-based cruise line, I would just think that this is something that you could expect to be done correctly. How do you feel about this? Is this okay? So, okay, question for you about movement of the ship in the evening. This is the outside of the ship. This is where my window is. And I have now my head to the outside. This is the starboard side. And I have my feet to the middle of the ship. So if this is my head, I'm doing this. And I'm wondering if it will make me feel better or more relaxed if I put my head here and my feet there, laying sideways on the bed. So I'm doing this. I feel like that is the more comfortable motion than this. But I'm not sure. To anybody out there watching this who hasn't done a lot of cruises and you're worried about seasickness or worried about how much the ship is going to move, let this just be a sign to you. I've been on over 40 cruises, and having a ship move as much as this ship is moving has happened to me so rarely that I'm asking myself these questions. So don't worry about it. Know what I'm saying? If you've watched the video this far, then please put the secret word curtain somehow into your comments so I know you've made it till the end. I'll be talking a lot about the different colors and patterns that you see on the ship and on these older ships from MSC and Costa in this series of videos. Tomorrow I'm going to be filming more of this cruise behavior test parody comedy video, also taking a look around the cabin and around the ship, and then the day after that I already leave. Just a mini cruise here on the Poesia, but I'm enjoying being here and I'm looking forward to showing you around. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, and now let's try to get some sleep.